And with me, Tom Buchanan, stable foreman for Justin Prentice down at Buchanan, but he's the boss for the next week or so because Justin's away on holiday.
Oh yeah, pressure's always on me, Ken, whether he's there or not. So when he's not there, there's actually a bit less pressure because he can't tell me off. So it's not too bad.
And so the stable have got 4 good runners here at Gloucester Park on Friday night, and you're driving 3 of them. And we'll talk about the Clark final first of all. And you drive Courage to Live. He's a very promising type, and he's drawn nicely at barrier 1. But is it the perfect draw for Courage to Live?
Yeah, it's a good question, Ken. I think obviously you're not going to give up barrier 1 when you get it, but with some really nice horses in there, and he is a high-speed horse, so it's a fine line between using him too much early and making sure he's still got his finishing burst. But I'll talk to Justin before the race on Friday, but I dare say we'll take full advantage of the draw and see if he's good enough. Like I said, you're going to give him every opportunity to prove that he's good enough in a race like that. It's a $25,000 race, so I dare say we'll be looking to hold the front and making every post a winner. But like you said, it can be a tricky draw for a high-speed horse like him because, like I said, you don't want to use him too much early, but certainly has the gate speed there if we need it.
And I was very taken with his last start, second to He's Manly. Came home beautifully well. He's been running home in grand style recently, hasn't he?
He has, Ken, and that's his biggest asset. Like, there's no denying that. You know, they zipped home in a real quick quarter that last race that he raced in, and he was able to make ground, which was a huge effort, I thought, to get as close as he did. So, like I said, from barrier 1, I dare say Justin will be really keen to hold the front and then use his high speed over the last 600 metres and see if they can catch him.
Looking at some of your other drives, our Major Mama, she's nicely drawn in the Oaks Prelude. She's drawn the back line. She came home very strongly to win at her last start.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect draw for her, Ken. I honestly don't think we could have asked for a better draw with Lady Delarenta in 1 and then Miss Sangrel drawn 10. You dare say they'll be leader and leaders back, and we'll just go straight 3 pegs over 2,500 metres. I think it'll suit her down to the ground. So
she's not impossible. She could win, even though the quality of the field is quite good.
Oh, it's very good, Ken. But like I said, 3 pegs over 2,500 metres, I think is a great spot in those sort of races. And everyone saw what Lady Delarenta did when she led up a couple of starts ago, and she over-raced quite bad, and they run really good time up front. So that generally opens the field up. So, imagine there's going to be a gap there at some stage, and hopefully she can run into the money.
And also the stable have got My Platinum Bell in race 6. Gary Hall Jr. drives My Platinum Bell. How's she going at the moment?
Justin was really happy with her first up run. It doesn't read much on paper. She sat back in the field and just got to the line on their helmets, but Justin was really happy with her, and it's a perfect draw for her. She's got great gate speed, and I dare say we'll use that, and if she can find the front, I think she'll be pretty hard to catch.
Truly. And now, Tom, second last race, Bravo Tex faces a pretty hard task. He's drawn barrier 9, and he's a very consistent horse, but he'll have to be on his very best to win from barrier 9, I suggest.
He certainly will, Ken. The draw hurts his chances to some degree, but he had to draw there. It was pref draw on dollars last 6, so the 2,500 suits him down to the ground, but we saw with him last start it's a little bit of a blip in his record because he was real consistent until then, but he just was unable to get into the race last start. They just ran non-stop up front, and it made it really hard for him to get into the race. But if he's able to get to the front or to the breeze, I think he'd be really hard to beat. But that's obviously the question, whether he can get there over 2,500 if they do this similar thing to what they did last start.
Well, I think the stable's going to have a good following with those 4 horses, so all the best of luck on Friday night, Tom.
Thanks, Ken.